Welcome to Onourshelf. Today what I have is a review of the iPhone 6 Plus. Plus as in larger size. How large exactly? Well, it has a height of 6.22 inches, a width of 3.06 inches, and a display size of 5.5 inches, making it by far the largest iPhone ever made, and one of the largest phones that you can actually buy to date. And despite its larger size, it's still extremely light, weighing in at 6.07 ounces. On the left hand side, we have our volume up and down buttons. Above that, we have our silent ring switch toggle. On the bottom, we have our speaker, lightning port, microphone, and headphone jack. The top has a nice smooth surface, no active buttons. On the right hand side, we have our sleep wake button, which has been moved from the top. And right below that, we have our nano SIM card tray. On the rear up top, we have an 8 megapixel iSight camera. Next to that, we have a microphone. And next to that, we have a dual tone flash. On the front bottom, we have Touch ID. Up top, we have a 1.2 megapixel FaceTime camera, ambient light and proximity sensor, and our earpiece speaker. So overall, it's a great design phone. It looks and feels very sophisticated with its aluminum body and seamlessly filling curved edges. But unfortunately, it's hard to show off the beauty of this phone because it's extremely slippery, so you can't really walk around with it naked. In fact, this is the slipperiest iPhone ever made. It's not a matter of if you're gonna drop it, it's a matter of when you're gonna drop it. So definitely get a case for this phone. So in terms of performance, the iPhone 6 Plus runs on Apple's dual-core 1.4 GHz A8 64-bit CPU with 1 GB of RAM. So that's good for a Geekbench 3 single-core score of 1,621 and multi-core score of 2,909. So this phone is blazingly fast. It's a true powerhouse. Everything that you control with this phone, it pretty much just eats it right up, even with only having 1 GB of RAM. In a day where most high-end phones today have 2 GB of RAM. But iOS devices have always been pretty good at how they manage their memory. So the multitasking experience is very fluent with very few hiccups. You might get some every now and then, but that's, with any device. And it delivers a great performance while playing some fairly intense games. And that hardware combined with the iPhone 6 Plus's 5.5 inch screen makes for a pretty awesome gaming experience. So awesome that I'll play games at least 25% more than I did previously. Now, I've never been a really heavy mobile phone game user. I've always stuck to the PlayStation Vita for that. But this phone has a 5.5 inch screen, making the screen 0.5 inches larger than the PlayStation Vita. So I almost enjoy games on this as much as I do on the PlayStation Vita. Not quite, I'm still missing those actual physical buttons, but it's getting really close. And I'm willing to bet if you're coming from an iPhone 5S or lower, you're probably gonna play games probably about 25% more than you did previously as well. And to tell you a little bit more about the Retina HD display, it's rocking a 5.5 inch diagonal LED backlit widescreen multi-touch display with IPS technology and has a 1920 by 1080 pixel resolution at 401 ppi pixels per inch with a contrast ratio of 1300 to 1. And it's a very bright and vibrant display. As you can see this particular scene right here, she's outside in broad daylight and you can easily read text, watch videos, or do whatever it is you need to do on your phone without having to worry about reflections overshadowing the entire screen. And text itself shows up very sharp and crisp, making this a great e-reader. And of course, because of its size, it's the best iPhone yet for viewing videos. The speaker quality is improved as well, making it louder and clearer than previous iPhones.
Your terrific acting. How about you make it easy on yourself and give up?
I've studied you both. I know how you fight.
Yeah, but I'm guessing you don't know how we fight together.
I don't think he does. This is gonna be fun.
As far as the camera goes, and iPhones are known for having some of the best cameras on the market as far as mobile phones go, it has an 8 megapixel iSight camera, and the iPhone 6 Plus gets a bonus. It gets optical image stabilization, whereas the iPhone 6 does not have that feature. So that's gonna allow you to take more steadier pictures and also for some slightly better low light performance, slightly better. And with iOS 8, you get quite a few camera modes, such as panorama, square, photo, video, slow-mo at 120 or 240 frames per second, and also time-lapse. So here are some sample shots.
Gotta send me a copy of that news. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time when touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at all. No, no, I'm a rockin' man.
I just picked up another one months ago, but I think she's got some chiropractic problems, sag nerve.
Go walk through the door. $150.
This one is the heart, yeah.
Oh, and they're just little ones and they're getting up in age, so they go on.
Now, as far as battery life goes, it packs a 2,915 milliamp battery, and Apple says that's going to be good for up to 24 hours of talk time on 3G, 16 days of standby time, up to 12 hours of internet use on 3G, LTE, or Wi-Fi, up to 14 hours of video playback, and up to 80 hours of audio playback. And to put that into a real-world perspective, the iPhone 6, I'll start with that phone, that's the smaller version, and I'm a fairly heavy user. I have to charge that phone twice throughout the day to get through a whole day. The iPhone 6 Plus, on the other hand, I'll start my day out with 100% charge, and that's enough to get me through a whole day, leaving me only having to charge it once, and that's at the end of the day. So that's one huge benefit to owning this phone over the 6. As far as call quality goes, in most cases it appeared to be good all the way around on both ends of the phone. Everyone that I talked to claimed that my voice came through clear with no background noise. And as far as me hearing other people, the speaker quality was loud and clear enough. So in conclusion, here are some of the pros and cons of owning the iPhone 6 Plus. And we'll start with the cons. Con number 1 is very big, making one-handed use pretty difficult for most people. Con number 2, it's slippery. If you haven't held this phone yet, if you get a chance, go into an Apple store, Best Buy, whoever has these phones on display, and try playing with it, you'll see this phone is pretty slippery without a case. So that kind of forces you to buy a case, and that makes the phone even bigger. Con number 3, app optimization. There are still quite a few apps that aren't quite optimized for the iPhone 6 Plus yet. So some of the app icons look distorted. And if that's not enough, some of the apps actually show up on the screen looking like this. And my final con for this phone is going to be that it still lacks 4K video recording. Now that's not really a big deal, but I thought for sure that with this phone having that protruding lens that it was going to have some type of 4K video feature that was going to be done right. But that'll probably show up on the iPhone 6 Plus S, if that's what they call it. Now let's talk about the pros of the 6 Plus. Pro number 1, battery life. The fact that I can go a whole day, and in some cases a day and a half, without having to charge the battery makes the battery life on this phone awesome. Pro number 2, screen size. The fact that this phone is rocking a 5.5-inch display makes it great for doing work that you would normally only do on a tablet. Not to mention watching videos, playing games, reading books has just gotten that much better now. Number 3, as you've seen earlier, the iPhone 6 Plus has a great camera, one of the best on the market. For fast performance, along with amazing graphics. Despite only having 1 gig of RAM, the iPhone 6 Plus keeps up with the best of them. And some people consider it the best, and it's hard to argue with that. And number 6, design. And for you folks that like a lot of attention, you'll like this one. The iPhone 6 Plus has a great design and attracts a lot of attention. Over the past few weeks, there were a lot of times when I took this phone out and a lot of people want to touch it and feel it. There aren't any other phones that I have that get this kind of attention. So it can be annoying at times, but overall it's a great conversation starter. So you have to give it up to Apple. They are great at designing products. So in conclusion, the iPhone 6 Plus has been criticized quite a bit. And the only problems I really had with it were some issues with iOS 8, which have really started to iron themselves out over the past few weeks. But besides that, I truly believe that this is one of the best phones money can buy right now. However, it's not for me. I prefer the iPhone 6. It's just a lot more convenient to work with as far as using one hand. My wife, on the other hand, prefers the iPhone 6 Plus, and she has hands a lot smaller than mine. But she also does a lot more work-oriented tasks with her phone. So in the end, if you're going with Apple, you have a choice, iPhone 6 or 6 Plus. Either way, you made a great decision. So take care, I'll see you guys in our next video, and thanks for watching.